Hey everyone, it's Kayla with the Celebration Company, and I've got something fun for you today. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And also be sure to check me out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram for a lot of other fun ideas just like this one. Okay, we are going to make the cutest little nesting house out of Dollar Tree products. So I'm using 6 of these little crates that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I went ahead and stained them all using watered down burnt umber. It does take a minute to get them all stained, so I went ahead and did that ahead of time. And it is easier to do it if you do kind of water down that burnt umber first. And I'm just using hot glue to glue all these pieces together. So you can see I've got the 2 sections, and now I'm just going to glue those 2 sections together so that we have one full piece, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. Now I've got a 5-gallon stir stick here that I went ahead and stained, and I'm just measuring that to go right across. I'm going to actually do 2 of them, one on the first section and one on the bottom section. And then I'm just going to cut those down. Now I'm just using a sharp knife to just make a few scoring lines, and then I'm just going to break that apart. And then we'll just glue that down onto those 2 sections. So basically it's acting as a little bit of a ledge. So I'm putting it at the base of one section coming up towards the top of it. And then we'll do the same thing on the bottom. Now I'm taking a piece of cookie sheet and cutting it out. I have a little sign from the Dollar Tree. You can see it laying right there. And that's what I'm going to be using as the top. And I'm just hammering out this piece of cookie sheet to make those edges nice and flat so that it's long enough for me to put onto my little board. I didn't have a piece of cookie sheet that was a full sheet, so I was just using a little piece of it. Now I did put some glue dots on. You could also use super glue if you have any super glue. But I just chose to use some glue dots to adhere it. Hot glue just doesn't really work very well for this. And then you're just going to bend those edges all the way around so you don't see any of the wood. And this is going to become the roof to our little nesting house. I'm using a dark gray paint here that I'm just literally pouncing on to my cookie sheet. You can just do this all over. You just kind of do as much or as little as you want. You obviously want to see just a little bit of that shiny peeking through. And then I'm also coming in with some black here, and this is just to add a little bit of some accent, so it's just a little bit darker. I want this to look like a piece of galvanized metal that's been sitting out in the elements for a long time. So you just do whatever feels right and whatever looks right to you. And then to add a little bit of rusty element, we're going to throw in some milk chocolate here. So this is just milk chocolate paint by Decor or Apple Barrel. And you just want to apply some of that. I'm using the same pouncer here. I haven't gotten a new one. I've just kind of wiped off the excess. And you can see how great that looks. So in order to give this a little bit of an angle, I'm just going to take a little piece of foam board, and I just traced the side of it with my pencil. And then I'm just kind of eyeballing a triangular shape here. So I'm just literally drawing a triangular shape using my ruler, and then I'm just going to use a sharp utility knife to cut this out. And so then we can just put this up on our roof to kind of see how it looks. You can see we've got a nice 90-degree angle there that fits the width of our little crates that we have there. And as I was looking at this and playing with it, I realized that the foam board is showing. It's a little bit too wide. My little plank is not quite wide enough to cover all of it. So I ended up just going back and cutting off some of it so it wasn't quite a 90-degree angle, kind of cutting that back. So instead it kind of angled back towards the roof instead of back away from the roof, so that you couldn't see that foam board peeking out over the back of it. I hope that makes sense, and you'll kind of see when you see it all put together. So then I just traced another one and the exact same size, and now we're just going to glue those onto our little crates. And I'm just using a little Dollar Tree cube to add a little extra support on the inside of those little supports. All right, so I did paint those to match the crates. So I just did a little bit of burnt umber on there. Just one coat is really all it needed. Now we're just gonna do some hot glue right onto those little angle supports and then all the way across the front in order to be enough to glue our roof on. So I'm just gluing that roof on. Look how awesome that looks. It's almost done. I'm just gonna go back over all of the little nesting house with some other colors just to kind of age it and distress it a little more. So I'm just using an old chip brush here, and I've added a little bit of white onto my brush and a little bit of gray. I mean, you can see I'm just kind of going in, and I don't really care what color I get. Because I want this to look old. I want it to look like chickens have been using it and there's been chicken poop on it and all this stuff. And so we're just kind of going all over it. And I did come back in with my pouncer and a little bit of black as well, just to add all over that to just really give it that distressed and aged look. You can also go back in with a file or a sand block and sand it and distress it a little bit too. Do whatever it is that makes you happy with it. All right, so last step is some chicken wire. Any nesting house needs a little bit of chicken wire. So this is just chicken wire ribbon that you can get from Hobby Lobby. And I am just measuring it out and wrapping it all the way around. And then just giving myself about 1 inch on the back side. And I'm just going to glue that down, putting a little bit of hot glue underneath and a little bit of hot glue on top. And then I'll just take a popsicle stick, just put that right on top of there. And that's going to help to secure that chicken wire so it's not going to go anywhere. So I just did that on all 4 sides of it. And that completes the chicken wire step. And so next, it's really just about decorating it up. I chose to put a little bit of Excelsior into all the little cubbies of the box. Excelsior you can get at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and it's basically like shredded wood. And you can just put it right in there, and to me it just looks perfect inside. But you could also do Spanish moss or anything that you want. And then you just have to dress it up and jazz it up. I chose to just put some eggs in there. But have fun with it, and thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.